Hello, how you doing, friends? Today we will be working on this PS2 Fat, Big Fat. It is extremely dirty, and I don't know if you can hear this, but it's full of sand and dirt and stuff. I recently bought 6 consoles, 2 PS1s, 2 PS2s, 2 PS3s for $100. One of the PS2s is kaput, but this one, it works. It's just very, 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 very filthy. So it's full of sand, and I want to clean it up. The disk drive comes out, but barely. You have to like force it out, but it does power on and it does work. I don't think it reads discs though. So today we're gonna tear it apart, give it a good clean because it's disgusting, and hopefully it ends up looking pretty mint and working awesome as well. So that's what we're doing today. Please stick around, watch me do that, and enjoy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pop off the screw covers, what's left of them anyways. Then undo the 8 screws, keeping in mind there are 2 different size screws here. It's easier to remember though because the smaller screws are on the smaller side. With the screws out, you can then flip over the PS2 and slip the top off. Be careful though because certain models like this one have the power buttons attached to the top shell. Gently remove the ribbon cable and you're free. Now you can see just how filthy this PS2 is. It is by far the dirtiest console I've ever cleaned. To remove the power buttons, gently pry up on the bracket and it should pop right out. To remove the memory card slots, simply undo the screw holding down the bracket and it can all be lifted straight out. There is a little metal bracket in the corner. Mine is extremely rusty. To remove this, just pry up on it until you can launch it across the room. The power button assembly is easy to pull apart. The ribbon cable slips straight out and there is only one screw holding it all together. To remove the controller ports, undo the 2 screws and then pull it forward. You can then gently lift the tab to remove the ribbon cable. After you remove the expansion bay, the whole bottom shell can be removed. Remove the 4 screws and then lift out the power supply. You might need to wiggle it a bit. Lift out the expansion bay shield so you can unscrew 3 screws. Then lift out the plastic insulation and unscrew 4 more screws. These are all the same screws, so don't stress if you get them mixed up. You can now unclip the fan and unscrew the 2 gold screws up top. Unscrew the 2 screws next to the fan and the power switch. They should slip out the way to allow access for the bracket we need to remove. This bracket can be really stuck, just keep wiggling it until it pops off. top metal shield can be lifted out to discover that this console has actually been modded. Modded. Then with some struggling, the board can be separated from the bottom shield. Further proof of how grotty this PS2 was, here's how my desk looked just after pulling it apart. With the many parts laid out, we can finally start cleaning. I decided to further pull apart the disk drive because it's not too hard to do and it's super filled from there. 4 screws on top and the whole lid comes off. To manually eject the disk drive, slide across this bracket and pull it out. Looks like someone has been in here already. Undo the screw and the drive can be removed from the slider. To remove the PlayStation logo from the trim piece, just remove one screw and it'll fall out. There's a small plastic bracket that holds discs in place when the PS2 is upright. This can be removed by unclipping 2 clips on the back of the disk drive. Once it's out of the way, it'll expose a fair bit of dirt and grime. To access the eject motor, undo a single screw on the other side and the cover can be removed. Everything in here just lifts out. Four screws holding the laser assembly. Remove those and it can be lifted out. Now it's finally time to give all the plastics a much needed bath. After you finish washing everything, you have a nice tasty jungle juice left over. Seriously, it left a ring in the sink. I decided to keep the mod chip because it all still works, so all I did was replace the tape and give the whole board a good clean with isopropyl alcohol. If you ever have trouble reading memory cards, you can lightly bend up the pins after you've cleaned them, as they slowly get forced down over time. This will create a better contact and help hold the card in place. I used a bit of oil on a cotton bud to lubricate the moving parts. It's probably not the right oil, but it works, so please don't yell at me. Now that it's all finally clean, we can put it all back together in the opposite order it all came apart. I used a small bit of isopropyl alcohol on a cotton bud to clean the laser, then used more oil to lubricate the moving parts. I had to glue these clips back in, and a little trick I heard about is that you can use a bit of tissue paper and super glue to reinforce broken parts, and it works a treat. Well, that took a while. We're finally done now though. As you can see behind me, I've got Spyro loaded up and it's playing perfectly. We ran into some issues, I'll be honest. We had the fan in this thing, it didn't work. So I had a spare one, I replaced the fan and that was all good. But the other issue we have is when I was reassembling it, the ribbon cable for the power buttons, it got damaged, and now the standby light and the power light and the eject light do not work. But everything else works, so that's a win. I'm going to see if I can maybe order a new part. I think it's just a ribbon cable. If I get a new one of those, it should be all sweet. But other than that, it's cleaned up all right. It's still got some scuffs on the front, as you can see, and it's now no longer got a ton of dirt in it. So that's always good. But yeah, it loads games, plays games perfectly, and everything else with it is all good. So I'm happy with that. I don't think I like working on PS2 Fats at all. It is a pain in the ass. There's so much stuff. It's all weirdly laid out. Having said that though, I probably just made it difficult for myself doing it in a weird order. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But anyways, that's probably going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please like, subscribe, and do all the things, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!